Okay guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm out in the woods next to a flowing river or a stream, just kind of scouting for small game, deer, stuff like that. And I thought I'd take a minute to show you this knife. This is the Bark River JX4 Bushbat. It was created or designed by Chris Tanner, Prepared Mind 101. You might know him from his YouTube channel. Real quick, I do want to give a shout out to the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. He is actually the one that I traded with. Meeting of the Prepared Mind is a Facebook group kind of created by Chris Tanner. I was selling another knife or trading it. He was trading this, so we just pretty much did a direct swap. So the Prepper's Bunker Outdoor, you've probably maybe seen this exact knife on his channel. I didn't really check, but I'm sure he has a review on it. But pretty much it comes in this ambidextrous leather sheath with a magnetic retention. It doesn't have really any active retention. It's a good design, but I'm not a fan. And again, I'm not speaking negative, this is my opinion on the knife. Like I said, this is used, and I don't want to drop the knife. And again, you're not going to be shaking it upside down, but it's a really loose fit. And whatever way that you store it primarily, it'll be extra loose that way. So I don't know if you can see. It's loose. The thing is, it's a belt mount, not a dangler, so it's going to be carried on your side rather tight up against your body, so it probably won't snag. But I probably will mold up a Kydex sheath for it. I like leather sheaths, but this one, I don't know, I'll keep the sheath and use it from time to time. The benefit of a leather sheath, a lot of people don't talk about, is some of my leather sheaths I coat with a strop compound, so you can actually strop the knife. Now, it's not going to be as effective as a dedicated strop, but in the field, maybe you're dressing out a deer, you're halfway through and the blade's starting to dull just a little bit, you can just strop it a couple times, call it good, and keep on skinning the deer. So speaking of deer hunting, it's deer season now, and when I saw he was trading this one, I saw the blaze orange handles. I've never had an orange handled knife, but I saw that and I was like, that would fit totally with my hunting gear, because I was kind of in the market for a small all-around skinning field dress type knife. Now the orange, the reason I like it is, first, it kind of designates that it belongs with my hunting gear. The other thing is, if I drop it, it's easy to see. It's G10, it's very smooth. There's nothing wrong with that, but in field dressing game, getting fluids, oils, fats, and blood on your hand and on the handle, it got really slippery. Dangerously slippery. Now I had towels, I kind of wiped my hand off and I kept using it. The cool thing with this knife is it has this ring here that you put your pinky through. So even though it was slippery, there's no chance of this sliding out of my hand and either cutting me or just being a big hassle. Now, speaking about the handle, I have large gloves. I wear like 2X gloves, and the handle, for me, it fits, but it's too small in like this measurement. So it, even bearing down really hard, it's hard to get a secure grip. It swims around. So I might wrap it in like a hockey stick tape, grip tape, or like a tennis racket handle tape, which kind of sucks because I don't want to cover this orange up. So I might get orange hockey grip tape just to give it a little more girth or like circumference. And then I think it'll be awesome. Now, putting your thumb up here it kind of is putting like back pressure, you could say, so it's a lot more secure, but you can't always hold it like this. But just in my opinion, it's and again, it's going to sound like a negative. I'm just trying to be honest with this knife. If you have large hands, you might not like this. With that being said, this is the glove I wear. It's a Wells Lamont. It's actually, so it's a Wells Lamont insulated leather glove. This is what I wear like out pretty much all winter. And as you can see, you can't get the pinky through, which is understandable. But wearing gloves, it's totally locked in. Very, very secure. Now, these gloves are coated with Obanoffs. That's how I treat my gloves. So it has a slight tackiness to it, and that really attaches to the handle. But yeah, the handle, not a total win with me. But again, this is a universal knife. This wasn't designed for... If this handle was designed for people with giant hands, then it would be too big for people with smaller hands. So it's a compromise. The fact of the matter, for a knife that has this length, a blade, kind of a shorter belt knife, it's kind of hard to find knives with girthy handles. I'm just kind of keeping it real. The blade, though, is A2 steel. It's kind of this constant sweep. This, and it's a convex grind. So when I got this, it was very sharp, but I did strop it, and I've stropped it a couple times. That's how I'm going to sharpen this knife. The blade design, the blade steel, and the blade geometry makes up for the lackluster handle, in my opinion. I mean, overall, what is this knife good for? Is it a survival knife? I'm not going to get down that rabbit hole, but it would serve, in my opinion, and in my uses, as a good survival knife. As a hunting knife, this is the, like, of the hunting, skinning, field dress knives I've used, this is like the quintessential, aside from like a Havalon Piranta. So if you combine this with a Havalon Piranta knife, you have like the perfect deer hunting, rabbit, squirrel, you know, fox, wolf, bear, pretty much any big game and small game. That blade geometry. The other thing I want to point out real quick, and this isn't a negative, but it doesn't have a really pointy point. It has this kind of reverse Tonto cut here. So it's really easy to flip it over and rest that to open up game or whatever, as opposed to, it's kind of hard to explain, but the point is really easy to control, so you don't accidentally pierce an organ, you know, pierce the gut or something like that. So as a hunting knife, awesome. As an EDC knife, that's, I was originally designing or planning for this to be a hunting knife. But I was like, this sheath is very low profile, it rides kind of high. I put it on my belt, and I've always pondered with the idea of EDCing a fixed blade. With this, it's a very excellent fixed blade. After I form a Kydex sheath, what I'll probably do is mount an ulti-clip to it, so I can clip it to the inside of my pocket. So it's a pocket, so it's I can carry it in the pocket. The other cool thing is, because it is the karambit style, it could double as a self-defense knife, right? So a utility EDC knife that can double as a defensive knife. I don't know the exact MSRP, because like I said, I got this on trade. I'll maybe post it down below. I'll probably post a link to DLT Trading. That's where I buy a lot of my knives. I'm a big fan of that company, so I'll post there. And maybe a couple other relevant sources in case they're out of stock. But yeah, overall, I would give this a 7 out of 10. The blade I love. The sheath I'm not a huge fan of. And the handle, it's kind of hit and miss. I'm not sure if I'll keep this knife or not. Not that it's bad, it's just I like testing multiple knives and finding one that I don't really have to compromise on. So the handle, I'm not saying it's a downside. I'm just saying for me and for other people with large hands, you might not be super satisfied. But if you like this knife, if you like this review, feel free to give this video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment below if you want to know any questions that I didn't address in this video, or maybe you own this knife and you can offer insight of maybe some points that I missed talking about this knife. But like always, stay prepared and we'll see you on the next video.